Hi and welcome to the lounge. We are coming to you from Taupo, a great place in the middle of the North Island, and we are at the very first Wanderlust Music and Yoga Festival, or Yoga and Music Festival. This is the man that has made it all possible, and I'm just going to try and get it right. It is Johnny Halstead. Beautiful. Johnny and Jackie have taken some huge steps to bringing yoga and music together, and I think it's for me, we were down here because we were doing something completely different, but it's changed the way that I will be living from now on. I think that was the point of it all, for people to get a good connection with themselves. So once straight away, mate, thank you for that.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Inviting us down here. Look, I'm just going to hand it over to you just for a minute, and
sure,
you can just say whatever you want about this thing, man.
Well, thanks for having a chat. It's, I think right now, day 4 of a 4-day festival that has been, for many people, have experienced that transformation. And I think, it's such a unique and new thing to bring to New Zealand. I have a huge sense of pride right now that it actually has worked for us. And it has, and that New Zealanders and international guests have turned up in such numbers. We had up to 2,500 by the time the concert kicked off last night, the big headline concert.
And it was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
You're a Kiwi, right?
I am a Kiwi.
From Christchurch, right?
I am from Christchurch, yeah.
Cool.
I live in Auckland now, but I'm in Christchurch, yeah.
You are the festival organiser for both New Zealand and Australia?
Yes, my wife and I are the proud stewards of Wanderlust and its mission for Australia and New Zealand. Yeah.
Absolutely great. Has it happened in Australia yet?
So this is the first multi-day festival, which is the flagship Wanderlust event outside of North America. But we did hold 3 one-day events earlier last year in March, which were held in Melbourne, Auckland and Sydney, which were very well attended. They were free to the public as an opportunity to give them a bit of a taste of what it means to fuse together yoga and music in a mindful lifestyle festival setting. Yeah. And then obviously it worked because so many Kiwis have come here and attended this festival for 4 days with us, and a huge international guest contingency as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. Does it look like at this stage, it feels to me like it's going to happen again?
Of course, yeah. We have a very clear mission, which is to grow the mindful living community. I think this year is the bedrock and the foundation for that. But next year we want to be here and bigger and better. So it's really important to us that everyone here had an amazing experience, so they go back to their communities and tell people about it, so that next year more people get to share in this occasion.
I mean this with absolute sincerity. I think, I know that you have achieved that. You did achieve that, dude. You have, both you and Jackie have achieved that. I've had a look and been fortunate enough to go to some of the classes, and like I said to you a minute ago, it's the first time I've ever experienced yoga, and I'm just as stiff as a board, man. But hey, I'm hanging pretty loose right now.
You seem like a yogi to me, mate. Yeah. Just been hiding from it for too long.
Yeah, I've discovered that. You've had some great teachers here, some stunning teachers, some amazing music, some of the most down to earth music I've seen. The bands have been fantastic.
It's been a programming dream, and as I said to you earlier, I had a moment last night which was, was a career highlight. Real sense of pride and a huge sense of relief that it actually worked from a programming sense. But I suppose from the background that I come, being in the mainstream New Zealand music festival scene for a long time now, programming tends to be directed towards, the classic promoter term of bums on seats. What's going to sell you tickets? Well, here we're trying to create an experience, and that our brand be this idea of an experience, and that when you come to Wanderlust, there'll be the big name headliner here and there, but there's also this broad plethora of amazing talent that we have grabbed from all around the world. And so, and I know you're going to talk to Ali Lieberman in a moment. I mean, he's a real find, and he's got a great backstory in how he came to yoga and therefore came to us in Wanderlust, and such an amazing talent. And and he's one of multiple stories that I can recount over the last 4 days of bands that work, and bands like the Twoks from Melbourne, you know, a little cute, husband and wife combo. She sings and plays, she sings and plays the fiddle. He does percussion, and you know, we found them by literally Googling obscure Australian festival band.
Really?
You know, like that's and then we've got acts like Narco and Medicine from the people from Oahu that just had first time to New Zealand, and they had 2,000 people jumping. You know,
I was there, mate. I've been at all of them, in fact.
And just the last couple of acts to mention would be obviously Xavier Rudd, our big headliner. What a beautiful musician! You know, really, he had everyone. You know, their hearts were in his hands last night, and his voice was just absolutely stunning. For me, you know, I started in the music industry in New Zealand back in the mid-90s when I suppose rave and club culture, where I started, and warehouse raves and hill raves, were really inspired or led by the cutting edge of UK club culture and rave culture. And so for me to have the big closing set last night by Nightmares on Wax, you know, a DJ producer who I've admired for 20 years, you know, and to see 500 people just grooving to his beats was awesome. So yeah, some serious boxes ticked last night.
No, I got that. Something that ran through my mind while I was watching a lot of the performers here, the musical performers, it seemed like a lot of them did yoga, were connected to yoga. Was there, like, when you were looking for the bands, was there a thread of yoga connection to them? Because they're all so healthy and looking.
Yeah, I'll pass on that compliment. I think that not necessarily it had to be about that they practice yoga, but that there was some form of purpose to them as artists that was beyond just performance, whether it be art as a key component, you know, that they really are driving their form of art, and that their story, their individual unique story comes through that. But the main thing we look for was artists that will actually get out and integrate with this community, you know, not just be someone that gets driven in a tour bus in the back, jumps up on stage, does their set, and then buggers off again, because that's what you get all too often at these big festivals, and they just hang around with their other bands backstage. You know, we wanted people like Xavier, who is out there doing yoga, and Narco out there doing yoga, and Nightmares on Wax George out there doing yoga, getting on the paddleboard, you know, wanting to explore the region, doing workshops and speakeasies, talking about you know their passion for music and how music affects them in a meditative sense, you know. So that it was about expressing more of their art and getting out amongst the festival.
One of the other things I really dug about it too was those major artists, including Ali, were available to the people at the jams that you set up.
The jams were great.
Because the jams were great, man. I was there, you know.
Yeah.
There is the guy that's up on stage. It's almost like untouchable. And he's just bang, he's right there. You know, you just go and tap with him.
And you don't get that enough, you know, that intimacy. You know, it's great to be a part of a mass collective, you know, a huge main stage like our Greatest Place, with a couple of thousand people just jumping and going off to a big live set. But then to be able to also be meters away from someone like Xavier Rudd doing a intimate solo performance, you know, in a more natural setting or more intimate setting like a little jam bar that you're in, lounge bar, you know, and that that again it was a programming dream for me.
Yeah, very, very cool, man. Look, I think you know, I could ask you lots of things. I'm pretty spun out.
So am I, buddy.
Yeah, and you're
riding on fumes.
Yeah, you're carrying me, by the way, right now. Well done, man, Johnny.
Thank you.
Fantastic, mate. If I can be at another one, I'd like to set it up and you know, do it all again.
Well, you're most welcome, my friend. Yeah.
And I don't even think it has to be bigger or better. I think it just has to be, man.
Yeah, well, look, you know? I mean, my answer to that is we, you know, I mean, we're a commercial entity. I'm not going to say otherwise, but we have a very important mission here, which is to inspire more of the mainstream to live mindfully, you know. And if a really well produced, really enjoyable festival is the opportunity to get more people trying yoga, more people tasting and turning to organic food, wine, craft beer, natural skincare, all those things, you know, living green is really important to this country, and and so I want to touch as many people with that as possible.
You have, man. Yeah, fantastic. I don't normally do this, but to sign off, I'm just going to talk about something that I now do, and I've brought out of this weekend, is that when I walk past somebody, I lock their eyes and I say hello. And that's a great thing to do, man.
It is,
I
you
just
know.
look them straight in the eye now and I go, hello.
That's
and
great.
It's so nice. You know?
It is, and that's connection.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And from the lounge and here at Wanderlust in Taupo, fantastic. You have to come to the next one, trust me, it will line you up.
Thanks, man. Okay, cheers.